Sorry, and handicapped children and street children. So what is handicap? It is reduction in person's capacity to fulfill a social role as a consequence of an impairment, inadequate training for the role. That is handicap. When it is applied to children, it is a presence of an impairment or other circumstances that are likely to interfere with the normal growth and development or with the capacity to learn in children. That is handicap in children. So the problem, how much the problem in India or in worldwide. So worldwide it is 83 billions, and hearing loss in more than 3 years age group is 42 millions, and poliomyelitis is 10 millions, and physical disabled persons in our country about 16.15 millions. That is 1.9% of total population. Next. So in 1980, WHO published ICIDH, that is International Classification of Impairments, Disabilities and Handicaps. So it is an attempt to produce a systematic taxonomy from injury to disease. So ICIDH. Again in 2001, ICF WHO 2001, that is International Classification of Functioning Disabilities and Health was published. So two different things, ICIDH and ICF. Next, what is impairment? So we'll see one by one. What is impairment, what is disability, and what is handicap. So we'll know one by one. So what is impairment? It is an impairment is defined as any loss or abnormality of psychological, physiological, or anatomical structure or function. So for example, if you see accident, example an accident. So due to accident, so a person will lose organs or limbs, upper limbs or lower limbs. That is impairment. So impairments are disturbances at the level of organ. So that is impairment. So it includes defects, loss of limb, organ, or the body structure and defects, or loss of mental function. So impairment, it will result into disability. Due to impairment, disability will occur. See, a disability is defined as any restriction or lack of ability that is resulting from an impairment to perform an activity in manner or with range considered normal for a human. For example, due to accident, if she lost lower limb, so he cannot walk. That is disability. Not able to walk is disability. So undergone accident is impairment. Loss of limb is impairment. So due to loss of limb, he is not able to walk. So that is disability. The term disability reflects the consequences of impairment in the terms of functional performance and activity by the individual. Disability thus represent disturbances at the level of person. So impairment is at the level of organ and disability is at the level of person. So due to impairment, the person will disabled to do some works. Next. So what is handicap then? So a handicap is defined as a disadvantage for given individual resulting from an impairment or disability that limits or prevents the fulfillment of a role that is normal for that individual. So due to impairment, he will be disabled. So due to disability, he became handicapped. So again, due to loss of lower limbs, he is not able to walk. So he is not able to walk. So he can't perform any work. I mean, he can't follow his roles. Or for example, he can't able to go to the job. So that is handicap. So the term handicap thus reflects interaction with and adaptation to individual surroundings. So that is handicap. So handicap may be intrinsic or extrinsic. We'll see. So see, if blindness is intrinsic handicap and loss of parents is extrinsic handicap. And other classification is primary handicap and secondary handicap. If you see blindness, if the blindness is primary handicap, it can lead to poverty. So that is secondary handicap. So primary handicap will lead to secondary handicap. So there are two types, intrinsic and extrinsic, and primary and secondary handicap. So you already know this. Impairment is at the level of organ, and disability is disturbance at the level of person. Handicap is he is not able to perform his roles. Next. So classification. There are three types of handicapped people. Maybe he may be physically handicapped, mentally handicapped, and socially handicapped. We usually see during our travel or neighbors. So some are physically handicapped, not able to work, maybe due to accident or due to polio or some other reasons, and mentally handicapped also, and socially handicapped. We will see one by one what is physical handicap, mental and social handicap. So physical handicap. So if we are seeing in daily life, it's very pathetic to know. Usually these are preventable. I mean, physical handicap can be preventable. So what are the reasons for physical handicap? Maybe due to birth defects or infections or accidents. I think most of these things can be prevented. Birth defects by taking good antenatal care or taking folic acid. So they can prevent birth defects, and during delivery, that is natal and postnatal care. So by that we can prevent birth defects and infections. We can prevent taking appropriate precautions, and accidents also we can prevent. These are preventable. And this category includes, so who will fall under physical handicap? So blind people we know, deaf and mute. So blind also there are some schools, blind schools, hair lip, cleft palate, talipus, and crippled due to, many of us know that due to polio, these people are like this, and cerebral palsy also. So postnatal care is very, natal and postnatal care is very much important, and congenital heart diseases also, road traffic accidents, and burns and injuries. So I think these all things can be preventable. Next, second one. So mentally handicapped. So mental handicap is, it is the present term which is used for mental retardation. So we should say, should not say those who are mental retarded. So he is mentally handicapped. So what is this mentally handicapped means? It is a condition of sub-average intellectual function combined with deficits in the adaptive behavior. So that this is known as mentally handicapped. So sub-average intellectual function. So how much in India? It is about 2% of mentally handicapped persons are there in India. Next, so what are the causes? The genetic, environmental, antenatal, perinatal, postnatal, and some other causes. We will see one by one. So what are the genetic conditions responsible for mentally handicapped? So Down syndrome, genetical reasons, Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, PKU, Tay-Sachs disease, galactosemia, microcephaly, and congenital hypothyroidism involving both single and multiple gene action, and chromosomal abnormality. These are genetical conditions responsible for mentally handicapped. Next, B. Antenatal factors. So neural tube defects and RH incompatibility, uncertain infections like rubella, cytomegalovirus, toxoplasmosis, and syphilis, that is torch infections, tracks and irradiations. So these are antenatal factors. Next, perinatal factors. These include birth injuries, hypoxia, and cerebral palsy. And postnatal factors, head injuries, accidents, encephalitis, physical and chemical agents such as lead and mercury poisoning may result in mental retardation. Antenatal, postnatal, perinatal, and miscellaneous. There are some miscellaneous causes. maternal malnutrition, protein energy malnutrition, iodine deficiency, that is endemic goiter, and consanguineous marriages, pregnancy after the age of 40, late marriages. So these are the reasons for mental retardation. Sorry, mental handicap. So there are some categories of mental retardation. I think all of you know what is IQ. So intellectual quotient. So the concept of the IQ is to classify the degree of mental retardation. So we'll see a mean of 100 we will take. So usually the half of the general population achieves scores above 100. I mean all are mentally able, and half below. That is lower 3% or so of the population achieves scores of 70 or less. So if the scores, IQ scores less than 70 are considered to be mentally retarded. See here, classification, WHO classification for mental retardation: mild, moderate, and severe and profound. So 50 to 70. If the IQ is 50 to 70, that is mild. 35 to 49, that is moderate. Severe, that is 20 to 34. Profound, that is 20. So if you say severe mental retardation is very less, I think only 10% are severely affected or mentally retarded. So most of the persons are mild or moderate. Next, if you take 100 mentally handicapped, so if you see the distribution, so among 100, 70 will be mild, 20 moderate, and 5 severe cases. So severity is very less. So a very great majority of cases that mild type and potentially capable of being taught to make a fairly adequate social adaptation in appropriate circumstances. So mild. Next, third one is socially handicapped. As a child, whose opportunities for a healthy personality's development and a full unfolding of potential that are hampered by the certain elements in his social environment. So that is a socially handicapped. So what are the reasons? Prenatal inadequacy, environmental deprivation, and emotional disturbances. So such type of children would include children who are orphaned either due to death or loss of parent, are neglected and destitute children, and those who are exploited or victimized and delinquent children. These are all socially handicapped. So neglected, destitute children, exploited, victimized, delinquent children. Delinquent means committing crimes under the age of 14 years. So juvenile delinquents will say. So a child who is physically or mentally handicapped also meets with the social handicaps to the extent to which he is subjected to social rejection. Yes, if he is physically or mentally handicapped, so usually people will reject, no? So he is physically handicapped, he is mentally handicapped like that. So he is further fall into social handicap. So that is physical, mental and social handicap. So there is some classifications are there. ICM. I already said that it was formed in 2001 by WHO. So like ICD-10, International Classification of Diseases 10, ICP is also a core classification in the WHO, FIC. So what ICD will tell us, it provides just an etiologic framework for a classification of disease and disorder and other health conditions. So what ICF classifies, it classifies functioning and disability associated with the health condition. So ICD will tell you etiological framework for classification of disease. So ICF classifies functioning and disability associated with health conditions. So that is ICF classification. And you already know that ICA-DH. So ICF is a revision of ICA-DH. ICA-DH was it will focus on consequences of disease, and ICF will focus on components of health. That is the difference. So ICA-DH will tell you consequences of disease, and ICF is components of health. So ICF is a classification of health and the health related domain that describe body function and structure, activities and the participation. So you will see there are two models of ICF. Two major models, medical model and social models. So what medical model will tell you? So it views disability as a feature of the person directly caused by the disease and trauma or other health conditions which require medical care provided in the form of individual treatment by professionals. So that is medical model. So it views disability as a feature of the person. So that is medical model. And what is social model will tell you? The social model of the disability on the other hand sees the disability as a socially created problem and not at all the attribute of individual. So medical model will tell you it is a feature of the person, and it will tell you it is a socially created problem and not at all an attribute of individual. So on the social model, so disability demands a political response since the problem created by an unaccommodating physical environment brought about by attitude and other features of the social environment. So this is related to social environment, that is and medical model related to physical environment. And what are the components? There are two components in ICF classification. Functioning and disability, first one, and second one is contextual factors. So we'll see one by one. So functioning and disability. So what it includes? It includes body function and structure and activity and participation. So body function and structure describes actual anatomy and physiology, psychology of human body. And activity and participation describe the person's functional status, including communication, mobility, and interpersonal interactions, self-care, learning, and applying knowledge. So this is functioning and disability. And second component is contextual factors. So under contextual factors, environmental factors and personal factors. Under environmental factors, so factors that are not within the person's control, such as family, work, government agencies, laws, and cultural beliefs. And personal factors includes race, gender, age, educational level, and coping styles. So these are two factors. One is functioning and disability, and second one is contextual factors. So an ICF is used by the persons with the disability and professionals alike to evaluate healthcare settings that deal with chronic illness and disability, such as rehabilitation centers, nursing homes, psychiatric institutions, and common service. So ICF is using this. Next. So this is overall organization of the classification of ICF. So how we can prevent social or any handicap? So there are some levels, primary and secondary prevention. So prevention is one of the objective of MCH services is the prevention, handicapping conditions and early management of wellness. So it is the responsibility of MCH. So primary prevention. So how we can prevent physically, mentally or socially any handicap. So it's one by one. So by genetic counseling. So women should not postpone marriage or late counseling. So prevent late marriages and consanguineous marriage. So these will in turn lead to genetic defect, Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome, and neural tube defects. And second one is at-risk approach. People at risk of the transmitting inherited diseases should be identified. So that is known as at-risk approach. And third one is immunization. So usually some diseases are vaccine preventable. Example like polio. If the person is immunized against polio, so person won't contract polio. So won't be physically disabled or handicapped. So simply taking vaccination, we can prevent physically handicapped person. Next, fourth one, nutrition, proper nutrition of expected mother. So nutrition, appropriate nutrition during the antenatal period is important. And the concept of the healthy mother will bring out the healthy baby should be highlighted. So that is the core objective of the NCH services now. Healthy mother will bring out the healthy baby. And others, routine health care and special care of high risk women and accident prevention. So these are primary prevention strategies. Next, secondary prevention, early diagnosis and treatment through the MCH and school health services. So we have to identify early and treat accordingly. Treatment needs specialized facilities like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and prosthetics. Prosthetics, providing artificial limb and hearing aid. Next, third one is training and education, vocational guidance, training for the independent living, trained to work with what is left. So rehabilitation. In India, 150 schools and institutions are working for the handicapped, physical, mental, and social. The Ministry of Social Welfare Government of India has set up the National Institute for the Mentally Handicapped, that is NIMH, at Secunderabad in 1984, and it has regional branches at Bombay, Delhi, and Kolkata. There are some other institutes also for mentally handicapped. So Alia Bachchan National Institute for the Hearing Handicapped, that is in Mumbai, National Institute for Visually Handicapped in Dehradun, and National Institute for Orthopedically Handicapped in Kolkata. And an NIMH operates through 5 major schemes for assistance to voluntary organizations. For disabled, they provide aids and appliances, and for leprosy cured patients, and development in the field of the cerebral palsy and the mental retardation, and establishment of the special schools. And there are some legislations. Persons, PWD Bill, that is Persons with Disabilities Bill, in 1995, and Children's Act in 1960. There is new bill is there for PWD. So that is Disability Bill 2016. The Rights of the Person with Disabilities Bill 2016. The Lok Sabha has passed the Rights of Person with the Disabilities Bill 2016. So which was so it is replacing the PWD Act, and which was enacted 21 years back. And so what are the features? So it is increased. Previously under PWD Act, only 7 disabilities were there. Now it has increased from 7 to 21 disabilities under disability bill. Next. So see, there are 21 disabilities. You please remember this thing. And 21 disabilities. So one by one. Blindness. These are types of disabilities. There are 21 disabilities are there. Please remember. First one is blindness, we know. Low vision, leprosy, cured persons, and hearing impairment, and locomotor disability, dwarfism, intellectual disability, mental illness, autism spectrum disorders, and cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, chronic neurological conditions, specific learning disabilities, multiple sclerosis, speech and language disability, thalassemia, hemophilia, sickle cell disease, multiple disabilities including deaf blindness and acid attack victim. These are all new, no? Parkinson's disease. So these are 21 disabilities. So speech and language disability and specific learning disability have been added for the first time. I think previously it was not there. Speech and language disability won't be there. And acid attack also. Dwarfism, muscular dystrophy. New categories of disability include blood disorders, already said, thalassemia, hemophilia, sickle cell. These are the new disabilities included. So what is the primary and the last thing? We need to strengthen the family. So that is family support is also very much important. So by this we completed handicapped children. So how many types are there? Physically, physical, social and mental handicap. And there are prevention strategies, primary and secondary. So you should be able to tell what is impairment, what is disability and what is handicap. So difference is there. I think this concept was there in concept of health and disease also under the levels of prevention. So what is primary prevention here? So if you prevent the accidents prone to accident, so which will limit the impairment, then you won't be disabled and won't be handicapped. Or street children, see. What is the definition of street children? Boys and girls for whom the street has become their home and source of livelihood and who were inadequately protected or supervised by responsible adults. And it is more of an urban problem. Usually, if you say in urban areas, in cities, and there are so many street children, orphans are there roaming around the road. So it is usually a urban problem. So they are living on the roads. There are three major categories of them. So children who lived on the street with their families and often work on street. So they may be from migrated families or temporarily migrated. So with their families, they are living on the road. That is one category. And children who live on the street by themselves or in groups and have remote access or contacts with their families in the village. So they are living away from their family. And first one is they are living with the families. Third one is children who have no ties to their families, such as orphans, refugees, and runaways. So third category, they do not have any families. So there are three types of street children are there. And there are some the classification of category on the street and off the street. So what is on the street and off the street? Children of the streets are homeless who live and sleep on the streets in the urban areas. We'll say off the street. They are on their own and do not have parental supervision or care. Through the some do live with their other homeless adults. So they won't have any parental supervision. And children on the street and livelihood from the street, such as street urchins and beggars. So they return to home at night and have contact with their family. So this is on the street. They won't have any family ties, and on the street they are having families and they will return to home. And the distinction is important one because children of the street lack emotional and psychological support of a family. So children of the street, they won't have home and they won't have parental supervision. And a large number of children without any family support, particularly in the mega cities of the developing world, are high risk of malnutrition. and tuberculosis disease, and including HIV, parasites, and worm infestations and skin diseases. Yes, they won't be care, so obviously they will end up in infections and any other diseases. And these are highly vulnerable to drug abuse, prostitution, and usually we see in movies now. Usually these type of street children will be used for cocaine supply or any other drug supply and criminal exploitation or drug abuse. So street children will be used to supply drugs. Next, most street children describe major losses in their lives. Many have lost family members through diseases, natural and man-made disorders, or maybe by product of war or riots. So what is the main reason? Poverty and rapid urbanization. These are the major contributing factors to the problem. Many claim that physical and sexual abuse were the reason for their leaving home. So some are due to natural and man-made disorders, or maybe due to wars or riots and poverty and rapid urbanization. So these are the major reasons for street children. So what is the extent of the problem? During 2003, globally there are 100 millions of street children are there, and 40 million in Latin America, 25 million in Asia, and 10 millions in Africa, and with about 25 million in the other areas, including the developed world. And in 1993, WHO launched an innovative project to study links between the street children and the substance abuse. And the study noted regular use of alcohol and other drugs by a major proportion of the street children, because street children won't have any parental control. So they will be addicted to alcohol and smoking and other drugs. And often lives of the street children are intimately entwined with the illicit drug industry. Yes. Street children are used in the production and marketing of the cocaine and trafficking of the cannabis and heroin. And there are particular problems in the provision of the health and welfare services to street children with regard not only to the health care but also to housing, educational opportunities and employment. So the rehabilitation of these children should be taken up by the government and non-government voluntary agencies. So by this we completed handicapped and street children. So there is the integrated program for street children without homes and families was launched to prevent destitution of the children and provide facilities for their withdrawal from their life on the street. So integrated program for street children. During 2008 and 9, the scheme was matched to integrated child protection scheme. So integrated program for street children is matched with integrated child protection scheme. Under this scheme, NGOs are given financial support to return 24-hour shelters and provide food, clothing, non-formal education, recreation, counseling, guidance, and referral services for the children. And the other components of the scheme include enrollment in the school, vocational training, occupational placements, mobilizing preventive health services, and reducing incidence of the drug, substance abuse, and HIV, and etc. Thank you. So, handicapped and street children.